anybody have a good, does
What?
anybody have a good tile bathroom person? I have a client that needs a new bathroom.
I have 3 here. You can try them first for us.
That's a good way to lose a client.
No, you could call them first and make sure. Eric says he has a few. We'll get you some names.
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, and then lastly, before I get started, I just wanted to mention, if anybody has any coming soon riders that you borrowed from us that you're not using, we need like 2 or 3 of them. So please let me know that as well. Okay? Wait, we'll switch it over.
Does anybody have a surveyor they could recommend?
Lakeland and Rockaway.
Yeah, Lakeland, and I know Amanda Mulvaney specifically uses Lakeland, and what's the other one? It's been around forever.
Lakeland's in Rockaway?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, they've been around for years.
They've been around forever, and the other one has. So those are the 2 I know Amanda Mulvaney uses when she does it. So I would assume that they were very reputable.
Okay, thank you.
About 30 foot.
But I'll get you the other name as well, Bob, so you have 2.
Okay, great, thank you.
Oh, a handsome man just walked in.
I've been here a while.
Joanne's here. Oh, we have a nice group here, guys. You're missing out. And I can't see any of you right now for some reason, so it's really gonna be weird. I'm just gonna talk to everybody here. So anyway, quote of the week. You all heard that Savannah's back.
Yeah.
She took a break last week, so you need to torture her even more this week than you ever have. No, don't do that, please, please. We need to keep her here forever and ever and ever. Okay? I realized that last week. I forget when she leaves how hard it is for me. I forget how much work she does. And it's all like spur of the moment things. Like everybody wants something instantaneous. It's just unbelievably crazy. You guys are a lot of work. Okay? I just want you to know that a lot of work.
She had a pile on the desk, and I'm like,
Yes, yes, crazy. And now it's on my desk. Now she just moved it over. So yes, the moment we think success is determined by an ingrained level of ability, as opposed to resilience and hard work, we will be brittle in the face of adversity. And that is the truth. I always say to new agents, when they sit in front of me, before they've even gotten their license or they're just getting in, I said, there's good news in real estate and there's bad news in real estate. What do you want to hear first? And they usually say the bad news. I said, okay, bad news is you are an independent contractor. You are 100% commission. There's no benefits, there's no bonuses, there's no salary. There's nothing like that. But the great news is that there's also no financial ceiling. You can achieve whatever it is you want. The harder you work, the better you'll be. And so it's the honest truth. You have to put in the hard work in this business and the consistency, and you can achieve anything that your heart desires.
I
So
also think it's a smart.
it's the smarter you work, for sure, Carol. Yes, you have to work smartly. Yes, that's true.
Like using Maybe Core.
Yes, that's working smart using KV Core, Eric. You're absolutely right. That's KV Core doing the work for you. You taking the time up front to put all your information and set things up properly, and then it works for you moving forward. So that's the truth. That is the truth. In fact, one of the agents yesterday struggles with time management. Every time I sit with her, she's like, I just can't get myself together. Like I feel like I'm busy all day, but I don't get anything accomplished. She's not making appointments. She's going online. She's looking at GSMLS. She's seeing what properties are coming up for her clients and maybe making some phone calls, but she's not making the next step, which is getting the business. So I always say, if you are a brick and mortar, you are an actual business and you own it. How are you getting people through your doors every day? Because if you don't have people walking through your doors, you're not making any money, right? And you have the benefit of you're not paying rent, you're not paying phone, you're not paying internet, you're not paying fees and all these, other extra money each month that has to go out. Your fees are very minimal. They may seem like a lot, but they're really very minimal for a entrepreneur, for someone who's their own business owner. So that's why every day you have to say, what am I doing? So those 2 hours, if you're going to spend 2 hours a day on work, then you should be making phone calls or door hanging or whatever you're comfortable with, but that is going to drive appointments versus looking at the MLS to see what homes are coming on the market. So again, just a gentle reminder of the things we need to do to be successful every day. So tomorrow is the Associates Benefits Offering Overview. So Weichert has partnered with Ben Advance, and they have an offering of benefits for agents, health benefits, medical benefits, insurance, all, life insurance, all of the things that, we don't have in our business and that we can't get independently, right? For some reason, they won't let us go to Blue Cross Blue Shield and just give us a package. We have to go through some type of group or company. So they've been working on this for a long, long time. I did see an overview of it the other day. Unfortunately, I was interrupted 15 times, so I have no idea what they said. So they're going to do it tomorrow. And I really highly recommend, if you need this and you're looking for it, that you be on tomorrow, because the experts are going to be on and you can ask them the questions that need to be answered. Me and Silvana will not have the answers to the questions on Thursday because you didn't go on Wednesday. Don't say, can you fill me in? We can't, honestly. It's just too much information to fill in. So you really need to be on. It's a Zoom call tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I highly recommend everybody go on to see what their, the opportunities that you have. They have different pricings. They have individual plans. They have family plans. They have add-ons. They, whatever it is that you need. And they do a really great job of presenting it and answering any questions that you have. So that's the only thing that's going to be on the Zoom meeting. Good question, Nancy. That's all it's going to be tomorrow, is strictly this Associates Benefit overview. That's all it's going to be. There's not going to be anything else. So please attend. And here's the link. Of course, I'll send it to you again tomorrow morning just to make sure you have it. So Weichert has put together an all new consistent service proposition of value for your clients. So we do it all guaranteed marketing campaign overview. So I'm going to go through these. Anthony is actually the expert of this. So he's going to, he was just running a little late because he had a physical therapy this morning. So I'm going to run through it. If you have any questions, once Anthony gets back, which I believe he just came in, look at that. He won't be able, because I have actually like 2 slides built into here, Anthony, because they shared it with us too for ours. And so I thought there was a lot of stuff. So we do it all guaranteed, $5,000 closing date guarantee. You might remember they used to have this $1,000 closing back when I was in Weichert back in 2006 to 2014. So again, if for any reason your client does not close on time because of anything that we've done, they will get a credit of $5,000. So they get a dedicated team of real estate and financial advisors, $500 credit towards your closing costs, free 1-year home warranty, and $50 gift card with insurance quote. You know how they were doing that with the agents? To get the agents on board with insurance, they're now offering that to your clients. So Anthony, just because you know a little more, is this what they get regardless?
So there's caveats, fortunately. It's a great thing for a buyer, obviously, if you miss the closing date. So you guys, that's only $5,000, right? Usually on my closing date, so I don't know if I'm paying that out. But all these advantages are there. However, there are caveats because they have to use all our services, right? So if they decide to use their own attorney and not use title, everything's off the table. No pieces of anything.
Please a little louder.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So obviously this is for title insurance and mortgage. So if a client decides to use their own title company, everything's off the table and gone at that point. If they use a different mortgage company, they're not eligible for this program either too as well. So it's a competitive world out there. You guys deal with it when you're dealing with your listings. You're dealing with other real estate companies. You're negotiating your commissions at times. We're dealing the same thing too as well with interest rates. It's such a competitive market. People are all over the internet fighting. So if I'm dealing with interest rate fighting, giving a discretion or trying to compete with interest rate, it's off the table too as well, because we're giving just too much money away when it comes to this stuff. But I'm going to give you more information. This literally just rolled out. I'll probably maybe do a training on it just so you have a better idea. There's a registration that the client actually has to go online to do and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a real official thing, not something you just kind of throw out there to kind of go. But it's a great lead in for clients to kind of really show them, you know, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're very confident that we close all our loans on time. It's just, we're trying to get everybody to kind of, you know, really embrace the experience, which is the most important thing.
Hey, Missy, are you sharing your screen?
I am.
Okay, because I don't have it.
Okay, thank you.
And it's just the only-
This whole time you haven't had it?
No.
You
I don't know if I'm the only one, though.
guys are really bad.
It's only-
I have it.
Yeah, not-
Okay, all right. So does everybody see it now?
Yeah, now I got it. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Okay, I have a question for you, Anthony. Do they need to use Weicker Insurance? Because I see it's $50 just for a quote, but do they have to use the insurance?
So that they just have to get quoted through them. If they don't use them, they don't lose out at that point, which is a good thing. On the one we had in the past, with 1,000 we had a couple of years ago, we did it again also prior to this years ago too. They had to use all three. They just have to get quoted through insurance. So that's the one thing they're able to peel back if they decided not to on that end. So just a quote and they still get $50.
Can they be retroactive into it if they haven't closed yet? Or using it?
No, this is everything starting going forward. And this is so new, I don't even have an exact date on it. It's starting July 1st and what we're actually. Like I literally got the slide yesterday.
Anthony, when you say services, which ones, like, what is that for
Like,
exactly?
so obviously, you know, you guys are the real estate piece, obviously, but mortgage, title, and insurance.
Yes. So are all under one roof services, are all under one roof proposition is basically what you are offering. And you know, the funny thing about this is we're putting this together for your client and your client's going to benefit from it. But your client would have probably taken advantage of it if you guys would have introduced it. So many of you don't introduce this to your clients. So really, this is more about you helping out your clients and getting you guys, to me, this is the way I see it, and this is not what anyone
This should
said.
be something
This
that's
is
introduced
more
right
about,
away.
yes, what you guys getting more involved in controlling your transaction than it is giving these clients all these benefits.
Attorney also, in-house attorney.
No,
An
attorneys,
attorney that supports our Weicker title,
title company.
they have to use Weicker title.
So again, keep in mind, we've talked about this too as well. Many of us use a lot of the attorneys that we kind of work with here.
Yeah.
Let's say if you're using an attorney that you like personally or your client likes, you call up that attorney and say, listen, I really like you to use Weicker title for the title policy. Then you're back in play. And that stuff's really critical. It's super important because it'll definitely delay transactions if not.
Yeah, there's only 2 attorneys in this area that I know will not. And they work with their own title company, so they get, you know, whatever. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves, because to me, if I was passing on business to somebody and I asked them to do that for me and they said no, that's that. I'm not even, like, to me, like, yeah, they're not a partner of mine. They're not a team of mine. You know, what else aren't they gonna do that I would need done in that transaction? Because they're running it their way. They're not running it for me. So that is honestly one of my biggest pet peeves. And I will tell you, I have a cousin who is an attorney in Cedar Grove, and he would not use it because he partners, and I never passed his name on. Like, that's how, and I said that to him, like, that to me, I'm not asking you to use it for every single one of your clients. I'm asking you to use it for my one that I'm handing you, or my 2 or 10. You know, like, I just don't understand why. If he or any other attorney said to me, you know what, I'm passing you on a client. All I'm asking is that you do A, B, and C. I'd be like 100%, whatever you want. Thank you so much for the opportunity. But when they don't, to me, it's like, I don't even want to be bothered. Honest to God, that's the way I feel. So I'm seeing this as, this isn't more of a push for your clients to be all engaged in our all under one roof. It's for you guys to be more engaged in the all under one roof. And now if you know that there's these extra things that you can provide to your clients, I think you're going to be more amped to do it, right? Like, if your client found out that they had all this opportunities and you didn't pass it on to them, how are they going to feel, right? They make their own decision in the end, but it's just about you giving them the opportunity. So I think it's something really great. And again, we have all of this competition. You know, Zillow's passing on their mortgage people and their insurance people. Realtor.com is passing on, right? If you look at Realtor.com now on the bottom, it says something about a flood insurance rating. That scares the heck out of everybody on there because nobody understands it. Well, that whole point is to benefit their insurance people that they're partnered with, right? So it's all about that kind of stuff. So again, everybody's going after it. You want to control your business. You want to control what you have. So again, this is what they're offering: dedicated team of real estate and financial experts, $500 closing cost credit on your closing document, free 1-year home warranty, $50 gift card for insurance quote. And then if they don't close on time, it's a $5,000 closing date guarantee.
I mean, just think about the whole warranty in itself alone. How many buyers are getting out there where they're leaving contingencies? They don't know what to do. They're trying to, you could be like, don't worry about it. Usually, people I'm recommending.
We're gonna give you that, yes. That's $500 there. That's $500 closing credit. And it's $1,050 that they're getting just for using the people that you trust, that you work with, your team. That's basically what they're doing, so. Let's see if it says here. No, okay. So the following market assets will be available for sales associates and advisors to use as part of this program. So the print collateral will be office signage, flyer, postcard flyers, digital marketing assets, my Weichert email templates, social media assets, and video. And then all under one roof, sales team introductory video. So all the materials will be shared to our sales associates and advisors in the upcoming days and will also be accessible on the Weichert Design Center. I believe the email came out this morning. I thought I saw it come out this morning. So, so these are some of the marketing materials for you guys to be able to use. Here you see it right here. You know, you can have this at your open houses. You can share this at your listing presentations, buyers consultations, put it on your client's front lawn, all of that great stuff. And then here you go on the Weichert Design Center, and then how we're marketing it through Weichert.com. Okay, so this is how they're pushing, or really getting the word out in reference to all of the services that we provide, and having that, what I call the Amazon experience, right? Everybody wants the Amazon experience. You want to order something, you want to be able to go on a site, get everything. People don't want to go to 5 different sites and get 5 different prices anymore. It's not the way anyone, people don't have the time. So they know they go on Amazon, you can get socks, you can get a umbrella, you can get patio furniture, you can get anything, right? It's Prime Day. I don't know about you. I was on Prime Day last night, and now my daughter's sending me all this other stuff that I wanted to get that's on for today as well. So that's what people want, and it'll be here probably by the time I get home today, but the package will be in my door. It's crazy. So it's the same experience everybody's looking for.
Are the lawn signs gonna be provided, or do we get to buy them?
No, those will be provided. I'm sure Anthony will get a whole bunch of them and then be able to hand them out. That's what typically happens. That's what we usually have. So add an additional level of quality service for your clients, open house guests, introduce a program with a flyer, and be prepared for them to enroll before they leave, right? Because they need to enroll. During your buyer's consultation, add the customizable, I gotta move my people. That's why there was no people up before, guys, because I didn't have you sharing the screen. During the buyer's consultation, add the customizable program flyer to your presentation, and add the open the Weichert.com registration page to sign them up. Your form, search Weichert Design Center, all under one roof. We do it all, guaranteed, for customizable postcards and social media templates. Your database, send the new marketing all under one roof. We do it all, guaranteed. Email template to introduce the opportunities available. Follow up with a call after each communication sent, reconnect, and stay connected. So introduce the We Do It All guaranteed program and hand them the customized flyer. And here is some dialogue for your open house. So I'm going to share it with you with the slides today at the end of their tour. Dialogue during your buyer's consultation. Again, I was just revisiting with the new agent yesterday, our new agent training, that in our Weichert tools tile, right? There's marketing resources. And what was the other one called? There's marketing tools and resources. Okay, tools and resources and marketing resources. There's 2 tiles in there. And both of them have so many, this is already customized to you in your Weichert tile. If you go in there, there's so many resources there. They're just print, and have for open houses again. There's so many pieces of value. If you were reaching out to for sale by owners or expires, and you can drop off once a week or send to them. I mean, there's so much stuff in there that's already customized to you and already done. You just print it out and you have it, or you download it and you send it. So again, there's more dialogue for you guys, follow up call to your database. Because I know this is one of the things people don't know what to say, right? So we have it all here. And then let's do it. So this is about making phone calls and just reaching out to your sphere and past clients and anybody that you haven't heard from, open house guests, to introduce this new program that we have. So some office updates. There's no birthdays basically in June. Nobody was born in June in this office. It's very strange. Huh?
Lazy parents in September.
Lazy parents in September. There you go. Is that what it was 9 months ago? I meant to count that out. That makes sense. That makes sense. They're too busy getting rid of their kids. And I'm like, I don't want to have kids. I just spent the whole summer with them. That makes a lot of sense. Then by October, November, they felt bad and started it again. I don't know. Gloria Laforgia has been with us for 16 years. Congratulations, Gloria. Happy anniversary. So some office news and events. So I mentioned this, earlier, that the CE credits, license renewal, and qualifying questionnaire is for every single real estate agent in the state of New Jersey and has to be completed by next Wednesday, June 30th. There is nobody exempt. The only people that are exempt from their CE credits are any agent that took the real estate course after July of 2021. Okay, that's the only people that do not have to take their CE credits. They still have to pay their license renewal because it's for the following 2 years, and they still have to do their qualifying questionnaire. So I have a list of people who have done 1 or 2 or half of them and not all of them. And the great thing about Weichert is on Weichert 1, it walks you through each one. Did you complete your CE credits? Here's where you can look, and it has yes or no, right? And then it has the link. Did you complete your qualifying questionnaire? Yes or no? And then it has a link, and then you pay. You know how many people paid and didn't do their qualifying questionnaire? So make sure, I'm gonna reach out to those who have paid their license renewal and haven't completed some of the other things today, just to make sure that you're on task, because it's only 1 week away from tomorrow that this has to be done. So just wanted to remind you that this is coming up. Then I just want to share with you real quickly. I don't know, everybody should have gotten a text last week from Mary Kano. And apparently it was some text. You knew that she's upset and things are going awry in real estate, especially with advertising. So I just want to remind everybody, because she put out this short text and email for everyone to see, because people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And you have to remember something, that the advertising rules are not Weichert's rules. I know people like to say, well, Weichert wants to have their name bigger, and Weichert wants to have their office number big. Weichert doesn't care. It's the real estate commission that cares, and it's other agents. I always say this to you: the general public does not know what our rules and regulations are. It's other agents, and you just have to piss off one other agent, and they're going to go to Mary, and then I'm going to get a call, and then that's how it goes, right? It's always other agents that tell on us, so to say. So all real estate advertising, whether to the public or fellow agents, there are rules to be followed and clarity in wording to avoid misrepresentation. It is really very simple. We have NJ Rec rules and regulations, and we have our Code of Ethics, Article 12. So NJ Rec advertising rules states that in all advertising, in all media, and that includes social media, guys, that includes Facebook, Instagram, every platform that you go on, the following must be adhered to. Billboards, right? I see so many uncompliant billboards out there, so many places that people don't feel that they have to follow the rules. So following must be adhered to. Company name must be predominantly larger or in bolder print than the agent's name or the team's name. Main office phone number must be legible size from a distance. People like to put their cell phone number real big and then the office number this small, right? If there is an agent's name in the ad, then the license status of the agent must be next to their name. Example, Mary Smith, salesperson, or Mary Smith, broker salesperson. Not sales consultant, not these little words that we like to try to put in because we think they're better. And I think there's better words we can use for ourselves, but this is what we have to do by law. So our Realtor Code of Ethics, Article 12 states, realtors shall be honest and truthful in their real estate communications and shall present a true picture in their advertising, marketing, and other representation. Realtors shall ensure that their status as a real estate professional is readily apparent in their advertising, marketing, and other representations. That the recipients of all real estate communications are or have been notified that these communications are from a real estate professional. That's another thing. Sometimes you don't know who it is or who they work for, right? We've all dealt with that. We've all looked and not been able to tell who someone is.
Open house signs are up to code.
So open house signs are just a directional sign. They do have to have the office number.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Has that-
And it has to have this,
Open house sign.
yes. So you would have Weichert on it, right? It's usually Weichert, sometimes your picture, your office number, and then your cell phone number, right? So that's compliant.
But no little house, and it's a real estate directional. Right?
Oh, you mean the fair housing?
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
no, fair housing, right, no, just a real estate
How
direction.
easy, why would it insert to us as realtors, but we have to be salespeople?
Because realtor is not a governmental body.
Yeah, realtors is a copyright from the National Association of Realtors. So you are a realtor if you pay the new National Association of Realtor dues each year. There's agents who may not pay that, so they're not actual realtors. So salesperson or broker salesperson is the technical name for what we do.
So we pay and we're in there. we're gonna return.
No, you still have to put salesperson. You could put realtor somewhere on there, but you can't put that after your name.
You only do realtor. You put realtor associate, not
Yeah, I would just stick with what they said here. Yep. So team advertising, this is very, very interesting because I know we all see this all over the place. Must follow the same rules as above. So teams are not brokerage firms. Brokerage firm company name must be predominantly larger or in bolder print than the team's name. Cell phone number only is not correct. Must have main office number and it must be legible size from a distance. Each team member name must be stated on their license. Statistical advertising, such as number one agent in name of town or county, must be quantified. When was the agent number one? This year, 10 years ago, the month of May 2016. Number one, how? Clarity, please. And remember, you will have to prove you are or were number one if challenged in an ethics complaint. So if someone, again, another agent says, this person's unethical, they say they're number one in Randolph, and that's all they say, you can take them up on ethics complaint. They have to prove that they are number one in Randolph, and they're gonna have to prove when, right? So they're gonna have to change that. Wouldn't it be better to advertise that you are a top producer with 100 transactions in May instead of a number one agent? Which one resonates more with the public? Again, a lot of the stuff that we do, right, that we are so proud of, all of our achievements, Circle of Excellence, this type of stuff. Other agents understand it. I don't know that the public understands what it is. You know what I'm saying? We get caught up in all these little titles and no one understands it, but other people in our industry, right? So again, it's just something to think about. In general mailing, pieces that list 10 property addresses that sold in the past month should have a disclaimer where each property should be identified by the selling office. The disclaimer should read, not all properties shown were listed and sold by. So if it wasn't your listings, if you just wanted to take homes in a market area, you're a new agent, you're like, I want to, establish my professionalism, myself as a realtor in this area, but I have no business at all. I'm going to take, the last 5 or 10 sales that happened in my neighborhood. You have to, and it's not all Waker because you can, right? We all cooperate. That's what IDX is. We all cooperate. So we can take other people's listings and put it on there as long as we're not saying we sold or listed that property.
That says under 10 is okay.
No, they're just saying, for example, a piece that lists 10 property. You cannot, with addresses and past, if they're not all from your brokerage, then you need to put a disclosure on it saying that not all properties shown were listed and sold by Wyker Realtors.
I don't
As a
advertise
disclaimer.
like that.
Yeah,
You know, we tell Louise, Louis Fellas.
well, you can do it, you just have to put the disclaimer. No, all right, this is the first time I honestly have seen this. I would have never told you to do this in the past. If you would have showed me your things, I would never think you thought you were compliant. But again, absolutely, absolutely. And
Because I deal with my mail for Remax a lot. Remax is actually part of the link for that there. And it shows, and my part of link still shows it on that. And it's been like 2 years.
yep. Mhm.
Over a year.
So this is something that none of us were doing apparently, but I want to keep you guys out of real estate jail. I want to keep you guys out of getting fines. And so it really isn't going to change again, anything for the consumer, because they're not going to be reading the fine print on there, right? So the perception of that homeowner when they're looking at it is like, wow, Nancy does an amazing job, like Nancy, right? But just put that, but Nancy has a neighbor who does real estate who's like, I'm sick of Nancy doing a great job. I want to take over Nancy's business. They're the ones who are going to say, oh, she doesn't have that disclaimer all of a sudden. So let's just make sure we're compliant. I don't think it's going to change anything for the public and the perception of what we do, but at least we're compliant and no one can come after us.
Have
Okay.
they ever done anything with some of the billboards that might not be right? Have they ever maybe take a billboard down? Billboard?
I would assume they would. Because I think of Rob Dukansky, number one. His billboard is in compliant. So everybody knows Rob Dukansky
Either
or
one
seen.
that has all the-
He has 100 in the state of New Jersey.
Oh,
He has 100 in the state of New Jersey. That's how he's built his business. So what he does is he works in his offices in Central Jersey, but he hires realtors from everywhere in New Jersey, and then he passes on the leads in those areas to them. And they then, pay a referral fee back to him, but that's how he's growing his business. Totally uncompliant. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. So I'm assuming someone got pissed off. Very sick of getting phone calls about why agents aren't doing things that they know. The rules are simple. Let's just follow them and we can all work happily together. Yeah. Last week I got a text from it. I always get a text, and maybe you're not on a text notification with them. So I get a text from her a lot, or from the board a lot. So yeah, it came out last week. Yeah, always reminders of things. Yep. Any kind of meetings or things that are coming up. And this came out last week. I was like, oh, she's mad. When I saw this, I go, oh, Mary's mad. And we know we can't get Mary mad. She's so cute. Again, just a reminder, save the date for our all under one roof tea and grand reopening summer picnic. It is July 21st at 12 p.m. here at the office. We're going to be outside. We're going to have games. We're going to have a food truck. We're going to have some catered food. We're going to have everything. I'd love to see everybody here. It's great to have everybody back around again and seeing more people. And just a good. Carol's bringing cornhole.
I got it for Christmas. I haven't opened it yet.
Oh, so Carol's bringing cornhole, and the champion will get a prize, something great. So we're giving out prizes for everything, as you know, for our weekly office question, right? The mortgage question of the week, which you guys are so competitive at. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So we have a lot of great things that we're doing. Stephanie's giving out prizes or I should say entries for prizes for the different My Wyker activities that you're doing, that you should be doing. And also, what was the last? Oh, bringing an unwrapped gift for our Christmas in July. We did so well with that a few years ago, and I'd love to do that again. It's an easier time to buy a gift now than during the holidays when you're buying gifts for a lot of different people, right? Sometimes it can be a financial struggle then. Right now, it's not as bad. So bring a unwrapped Christmas gift. You get an entry, and we're just going to continue to do entries. And I already have a bag full of entries, and I'm going to keep adding to it. And then that day, we're gonna choose and you'll get branded stick in the ground signs and branded open house signs and all those things that you guys are always asking me for. Your own riders if you want them, you know, things like that. So want to make it fun, but want to also be able to help you with your marketing efforts. So mark your calendars. So Anthony, now you can really come back. Stand in front of here and scream.
Good morning, everybody. Just a little bit of market update from last week from the FedMet. Big news last week, the announcement after the Fed meeting. Leaving rates unchanged was not a surprise, and the Fed will continue to purchase treasuries and mortgages. However, they talked about rate increases as soon as 2023. Previously, they talked about not doing anything until 2024, so you gotta be careful on that. That spooked the mortgage markets a bit, and rates increased, but seemed to settle back as the week wore on. This week, we'll see releases on new and existing home sales, orders for durable goods, personal income and spending, as well as the final revision of the measure of the economic growth for the first quarter of the GDP numbers. This is actually really, really good news. It doesn't take effect, as you can see, until August 16th, but you may or may not have been aware, because obviously this is more for our customers, but when a borrower has student loans, sometimes they're on like a deferment schedule or an income-based payment plan, something along those lines. I just talked to a customer last night, $280,000 in student loan debt, right? So with that being said, you know, typically like Fannie Mae requires, or FHA up until August 16th, requires you to take whatever the balance is, and you have to factor a 1% monthly payment. So if I'm at $280,000 collaboratively, that's a $2,800 debt that you have to factor, plus their car loans and their credit cards and other reoccurring debt. So if they're making 80 or 100 grand, they're never going to be able to afford to buy a house once you tack a mortgage onto it. So Freddie Mac, for the last, let's call it year or so, they've only allowed you to use only 0.5%. So as you can see, FHA is actually following suit. So this is a really good thing. And I'm curious to see if Fannie's going to do the same. So they're all kind of like doing the same guideline when it comes to that. So a lot of times when I have conventional buyers and I see a fair amount of student loans, the first thing I was always doing was running conventional Freddie to see if they would qualify for a conventional loan, and then, you know, utilizing their FHA or Fannie as kind of like a backup. But student loans have been a big challenge for many years, and they've constantly always changed these things. At some point, they were always 0.5 point, and then they made it a point. But it's caused a lot of issues for a lot of buyers that need FHA financing for whatever reason, not being able to purchase a home right. So this is some good news, and I'll update you guys more when this changes. But this will just get a lot more buyers qualified. Right into it, Dennis. Dennis, you ready?
Dennis, now my suggestion to you, Dennis, is do not make your final answer until you're sure, okay? Don't start screaming. We want you to be relaxed and make a good decision this time, okay?
See what Lonnie says first.
Yeah, right, wait to see what Lonnie says first.
All right.
You ready?
All right.
A recent study indicates that buyers are getting younger. Approximately what percentage of buyers are now under the age of 36? A,
50%.
50%,
Dennis, you
Hey,
can go listener.
50%, C, 30%, or D, 20%?
I'm sticking with A. A,
Final
50%.
answer.
Final answer.
Let me know when everybody's ready.
I think it's A.
All right.
50%.
I don't know the answer, honestly. Only Anthony knows the answer. That's it, your time is up.
That's it.
Carol, somebody hacked your Facebook and stuff. Did I trust you guys?
And changing your answer after we announce it.
I will in a second. Do we have all our write-ins?
Go into settings.
Okay.
Put it in the chat. I
Well,
don't know
that's what you
else to
should do. Okay. All right. Yep, we're all good. We're all good.
Everybody good? The answer is A, 50%.
Woohoo, Dennis! You did it, buddy.
And Dennis and Lanny.
Bonnie, you always do it. You're the best.
I said it first.
If Dennis would hold on and listen to what you said first, then he would always be right. Dennis said it. He did say it first. He did say it first. Dennis, put your hands up. We want to make sure you weren't cheating and looking up at your computer or your phone during that time. We recorded you, you know, we're gonna look back at this tape very, very carefully and make sure that you were compliant. So we have 3 right now. Let's see on here.
They're breaking change mine.
Don't rob a bank with Lori Young, okay? Do not. Okay, we have 6 winners today. Congratulations, guys. You will be put into my little yellow bag. Oh, actually, we have 7 winners today. Perfect. Okay, thank you. Anyone else have anything for Anthony?
I do.
Yeah.
Anthony, refresh my memory. When the appraiser comes out to look at a property, what is it that he's looking for? Okay, leaky roof, we know that's not good.
Well, I mean, so.
Did you hear that, guys? Did you hear the
No.
question?
I
Okay,
didn't hear it.
Lori Kaplan asked Anthony, when an appraiser comes out, what is he looking for? Leaky roof, like what kind of things is he looking or not looking for? So that's what Anthony's answering.
So, well, no, so that's what I was gonna say. So, I mean, just take a step back on that. I mean, obviously you have your home inspector doing his inspections and he's going typically on the roof, et cetera. Appraisers.
Ask Cheryl.
Oh, what's that?
Ask
Yes,
Cheryl.
Someone said, "Yes, Cheryl."
Appraisers typically are not going on roofs at all. I mean, obviously they're taking a look at them. If something seems maybe a little funky, strange, they might kind of start to drill in on something, but everything is kind of just quick and visual. These days, the appraisers, I would love to say, are spending forever at homes. They're not spending a lot of time at homes. They don't have the time to do it. They have so many appointments scheduled. Like I've mentioned before, appraisers are like a lost art. There's not many of them out there doing it. So they are taking much longer to get these things done and getting reported back. But I mean, from an actual appraisal itself, physically, they're starting right in the close-knit neighborhood as far as where the property is located. So if you have a colonial type style property, it's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, they're looking for similar properties closest to, where the dwelling is, and then they're working themselves out. They're not going to go 2 to 3 miles down the road looking for another 4 to 2, exactly with that. They'll grab a 3-2 and make adjustments. They'll grab a 3-1 and make adjustments that are similar to that type of property to determine that value. But again, they're obviously trying to figure out condition of property, looking for similar property. So if you have a property that's in okay condition, they're not comping that to a new construction. You can't really kind of do that. Similar age properties are important, square footage, but then they can make adjustments on all of these things. So most importantly, closest to the subject and working themselves out. So they'll go further out if they cannot find anything. If there's no sales in the immediate, 3/4 or half a mile, they'll go a mile, they'll go a mile and a half, they'll look longer in the timeline. That's a big challenge right now because, things are moving so fast in every single market to determine, what's going on with value, and numbers just kind of keep flying. So keep in mind, if it's visual, someone walks in, they see a water stain on the ceiling somewhere, the first thing the appraiser is going to probably say is, hey, I got a concern maybe with the roof leak or a busted pipe somewhere. And he's not going to get into details. He's just going to probably put in the report, recommend like a roof cert, making sure that everything is okay. The seller may comment, say, oh, we did have a leak. I fixed it. Here's the bill. I just never spackled and painted or whatever the deal is. So, as long as you get that information, you're okay. But then we start talking about the government loans. We talked about this too as well. FHA, VA, USDA, they're going to nitpick a little bit more. The flaking paint is the big pain in the ass one. Painted foundation, window casings on older homes, railings, etc. Loose concrete on the property, loose paver blocks, steps crumbling. They're going to break the chops on that stuff, and they're going to want that stuff addressed because it's like a tripping hazard, or it could be a health hazard that way too as well. So if you have properties that way and you got those multiple offers, figure out which ones are going to be the path of least resistance. And that's what everybody always talks about all the time. Oh my God, it's an FHA offer. I'm scared. But if you have a clean property that happens to just be from the 70s and dated because someone doesn't live there anymore, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not going to be a problem. It's the properties that are let go a little bit and are really rough on the edges. which could cause problems. Things with missing railings on multiple steps because no one picked up on it or a seller built the stairs that way, things like that are going to be tough. They're going to have to be addressed. So those are the kind of things that you're going to have to kind of always keep in mind with. But I mean, whether it's my deal or not, just feel free to bounce anything off of me.
We're back in the timeline for the lights now.
I mean, like typically, you've seen stuff that are 6 months, even sometimes a year. But I mean, in this market right now, I mean, they're using stuff that's selling like within the last few weeks, a month or two. And again, we mentioned this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, Missy, in the meeting where if you know something is coming up for sale, last week's meeting, if you know something's coming up and it's being sold in 2 or 3 days and the appraiser wants to go out there tomorrow, just pump the brakes on it. Let that sale come on and get reported so you have that collected data, because it could make or break a deal right now. If it's a week from now and you got a 60-day closing, grab the extra week. It's not going to jeopardize your deal. But if you got like a 25-day and 30-day closing, you're in control at that point as far as rolling the dice and what you could do. Maybe you could delay a closing, because you want to get those samples and those sales. That's really, really important right now. This is for sure.
Okay, what about happened to house under appraised by $100,000?
Well, I mean, it depends on the qualifications, and some people out there, it's happening. With some people, it's an unfortunate thing. But if you got someone putting out 50%, it may or may not even affect the transaction.
I'm sorry, I expected it the other way. Overappraised. Very unlikely in this market, but let's say it doesn't happen.
I mean, typically it's not real.
Overappraised by
It's not really an issue at all, because the financing is always going up the lower of the two, purchase price or the appraised value, whatever is lower. So over appraisal would be great to your buyer, right? Because he got the property as a steal. But I mean, I heard someone from another company told me the other day, he actually had an over an appraisal done, and they actually wanted to get a second appraisal done on it because they wanted to make sure there wasn't like a total error or mistake done or something kind of weird. Because again, like you said, in this market, things aren't really over appraising by that much unless someone completely stole the house. It could happen. It could happen. I mean, I guess unless it's like underappraised by a large amount, or maybe.
You never ever tell them the appraised value, ever. You say it appraised, that's it.
Oh, you don't tell the seller? Absolutely.
Yeah, don't ever tell
Absolutely.
them.
I agree.
I have no idea. I didn't see the report. It appraised. That's all I know.
Whenever I email our attorneys,
Especially if it over appraises.
whenever I email our attorneys on a transaction, whoever I'm working with, our attorneys outside, when I send over the mortgage commitment, the first thing I say, and the appraisal's in that value. I never get into the fact that it overappraised. I'll usually sidebar a conversation with our agent and the buyer, say, hey, great news, it overappraised by 20. Seller side doesn't need to know.
They want more money.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
especially if you're negotiating inspections, they might be a little less sensitive to you at that moment.
One thing, I had an appraisal the other day on my son's house, and they're packaged, so the place is a mess. And
Right,
everything is-
right.
And so I said to the appraiser, I said, because he's taking pictures, and I said, they're moving, and this is, he said, I look at the house as if it's empty. He said, all I care about is the size of the rooms and the condition. He said, I don't care about all this furniture.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So Carol was saying that she went to an appraiser the other day and the house was being packed up, obviously. So she said to the appraiser, do you take this into account? And he said, no, I look at the house as if it's empty. Because remember, the furniture is not part of the collateral that's being sold, any of that. So it only makes sense that they would not be taking any of that into account. They're just looking at, updates and things like that, whatever it is they're looking at. So that was a great question. So thank you, guys. That was great. Fix myself again. I don't know why. Okay, so Stephanie.
Morning, just another reminder for Thursday's training and moving forward, I probably just do 1 o'clock trainings on Thursday instead of 10 o'clock, because we have a 10:30 company call session. So just moving forward, and I'm doing the July calendar now, so I'll let you guys know next week what that is. So my Weichert tip of the week, want to just quickly go through text codes. I know we talk about QR codes a lot, but text codes in my Weichert. So if you go into your lead engine tab, real quick, text code is, you see on signs like text, 123 Main Street to a phone number and get a free, view of the property or something like that. That's what this is about. So this actually talks about going to that valuation page on your website. So in your lead engine, you could go to the call capture tile, which is in the middle there, and then you would click get started. So what you would want to do is create a text code that makes sense to what you're trying to market. So in our case, for this, maybe text something like valuation to the smart number 973-737-9843. And then you can use that text code on brochures and postcards, your mass emails, and flyers, on your Facebook posts, also to track, how many times you're getting those leads. And what happens is they go into your CRM with a hashtag automatically with that text code, so you know where they came from. So what you would want to do is you go in, you add new at the bottom there. There's a little green button. You decide what that text code is. It could be any variation of letters, numbers, symbols, whatever makes sense to you. And you can. It has to be unique. So say if you did something like 123 Main Street and that already exists in our system with that going to that smart number, it will kick it back and say you have to try something else. So maybe 123 Main Street exclamation point or something like that, just to switch it up. So you click add new. And in this case, they use the home value as the custom code. There's no MLS ID in this case because we're not sending them to our property. We're actually sending them to our webpage. You can actually send a reply message. So when they put in that text code, you can actually automatically have a text go back to them saying, hi, this is Stephanie from Weicker. Thank you so much for, reaching out to me. Here's a link to go get your valuation. So then they'll hopefully click on it and do the rest of the steps. Like add, and the drop down will be your smart number. So it's your office. It's for us, our office smart number, but some people have purchased their own smart number. Then you have the choice of the office or your purchase one. So this is this preview of what those text codes could be utilized for. So there's a postcard, and this person put the text code on the back, kind of an additional, here's my property I just sold, like if you are interested, go to my website, and there's that text code. There's an email blast, and then a social media post. Questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Questions about anything in general with my Weicker? Anything come up this week?
If you do a personal call section or private, whatever it is, where do they, if you clean them, when do they show up?
Show up where?
Your CRM.
It should be as soon instantaneous.
Instant. And what happens is they're automatic. Just be mindful because those claim leads from Weicker Lead Network automatically go into a campaign. So within, I think, a day, they'll start receiving emails and texts from you. So just be mindful of that. If you don't think that campaign is appropriate, do a pause on it. Just so you know that that will happen because it's a Weicker only.
What is the hashtag?
I think it's claim buyer, claim renter, something. I'm not sure exactly.
What the word claim is in it?
I think so. Let me look.
Yeah, Eric, I did get notification every time you claim leads the other day. You claimed about 10 or 15 leads. So they did definitely go into your, so I get an email notification.
How long can you pause it for? Indefinitely. Yeah. You can actually cancel. The Weicker League Network campaigns, I think you can cancel them completely. I've done it, but you guys tell me because you have an email log and I have an admin, so it might be slightly different. But try to delete it because there's 3 choices like pause, restart, delete. Try to delete it. See what happens.
It works. I did it recently. It'll stop.
It stops. It definitely stops if you click pause. But if you ever want to restart it, maybe not delete it. You never know.
Yeah, that makes sense. You never know. Yeah, so your Weicker Lead Network lead should go automatically into your CRM, your My Weicker CRM, and those are the only ones, just so you know, that we can see. So I, as an admin, and Sylvana and Stephanie as admins, we see private lead, private lead, private lead. We don't know whose it is. We don't know what the person's name is because Weicker wanted to make sure that you guys didn't feel like we were going to take your clients at one point. So only the ones that we generate here at Weicker are the ones that can actually see when we go onto our platform. So again, just a reminder.
But the claim leads are Weicker.
Claim leads or Weicker leads, yes. Anything that you generated from Weicker. Right. All right, so our local market absorption, You see some of the towns I have put, you know, the numbers from last week and the numbers from this week. It's just because those went up, I felt, pretty drastically for this market, right? So the other ones were consistent, like Morris Plains, for instance, was 15 last week and went up to 16. That's not drastic to me. But Parsippany went from 69 to 83 this week, right? That's a big number. And their absorption rate went up a little bit. Hanover went from 15 to 21 this week. East Hanover stayed the same. Actually, East Hanover, their absorption rate went down pretty drastically because they had a lot more under contract in the last 30 days. Denville was exactly the same. Isn't that crazy? Exactly the same. So I'm sure things came on and went off, but the numbers were exactly the same. Randolph is down a little bit, 39 and 26 under contract. Morris Township went up 10 again, and they went down in under contracts in the past 30 days by 11. So again, that was, to me, again, this market is a little bit drastic. And then Boonton again stayed about the same. I think they went from 10 to 12. So just to share with you what's going on these days on market and average list price, they don't change that per month. So I can't update those only on a monthly basis. So you're going to see the same. Nobody's tracking for sale by owners, but these do count coming soon. So the actives do count coming soon. And the under contracts do count US and UC. Okay. But exclusives or for sale by owners, no, there's no way of us to track that. No. Because they're not in the MLS. All this information is provided by the MLS. So just want to take consensus on anybody who was thinking about starting caravans again with your listings. Just would like to know what people think, because I know the new agents are really feeling that they would love that opportunity to go on caravan because they've heard, There was one, I think it was in Mendham, in the Mendham office. Yeah.
I think it's important.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We don't have to do lunches anymore, no, but just having the agents go through. So for new agents specifically, they would learn so much. We didn't even realize this, what they learned from going with having, seasoned agents in the house and talking about things and teaching them what to look for, those things, different style houses that they may not have realized, like all that stuff for new agents is really great. And I know other brokerages and other offices are starting to do caravan again. So we'd really like to see that happen. I guess it would have to be something we put on like Monday or Tuesday and do it Wednesday if it's a house that's going to flow off the market. See, that would be a great one. That would be great.
Yeah, we should bring it back with Planet Cater, because we have to start lunch one house and then we finish up with dessert one. We can bring that back.
Well, the agents just said that that's what they don't want. The agents who are doing it don't want to have to provide the lunch. Yeah. No, you don't have to. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. So let's get that started again. We'll start doing a caravan, right? Leaving from here, going out. It's always great.
Are we gonna have someone organizing it again?
Well, we didn't have anybody, Eric,
Well, we used to
organizing.
years and years ago,
Yeah.
and they'd organize the open houses, because if you had like 4 houses that were similar, you kind of keep each other's information, so if they're not gonna buy yours, send them, somebody else's.
We used to have so many open houses. When I started in 2006, 2007 and 2008, I was telling the agents yesterday, the new agents, the absorption rate then was 10, 11, 12, 13 to 19 months in that time. That was the absorption rate. In towns like Long Valley, there was 190 homes on the market. In Parsippany, it was like 210 homes on the market. Like you just can't, Randolph was like 160 to 180. Like you just can't even imagine. You never in your lifetime thought you would see this happen with like no inventory. You had so many choices and all the buyers were on the fence. Nobody wanted to move. And it was interest rates were higher and there was just so many different variables that happened then. And so I started in the Chester office for the first 6 months and then went to Randolph. And there you do Morris County 1 week and Warren County the next week. And the open house person who did the open house sheets for the week literally had to you had sheets that you were handed and they put them in order so that you would go in a specific way when you went, because there were so many open houses. You, yeah. You, yes, yes, we have east and west here, right? And you used to be like 2-3 hours, like you were gone the afternoon. You did not come back. It's just,
Well, years ago, but recently, last year, that as long as you put it on Gardenscape and said that you're gonna be on Caravan, then.
We
Florida
printed
was
it out.
Yeah, the full printed out.
yeah.
And if you had something that you just got, or another office bought one, it was always left over there and.
For the office meeting, we'd have them right up there. People would grab them and then we just go out. Yeah, so,
You didn't follow me, but with Missy, right?
yes, they used to fight for the front seat. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. It was crazy. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot, and you learned a lot, and you got to know your inventory. And if people called you, you would be like, oh, yes, I've seen that house. Oh, yes, I've seen that house, because you did. You actually see all these houses. Yeah, we did come back so happy. It was a great Wednesday. It was a great day.
Also, it's great, your listing presentation, to talk about those. to go over
Yes.
But like what Nancy said, that you just have to make sure the sellers are okay with it.
Yes, of
Some
course,
them
of
are
course.
nervous.
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We still have to be safe with everybody. Not everybody's comfortable right now.
Yeah, it was great.
So- Yeah, it was a great thing. So if you guys have them, like Lori has a vacant house that is 1.6, like she's willing to do that. Like, let's get them on Caravan and let's get back out again. That would be great. So on the market, I think we announced this one last week, Weber Parkside Court. Is that still on the market? Oh, okay. Michael and Priscilla have 317 Hayes Drive in Saddlebrook for 49. That's a very popular one. I think they already got at least one offer on it. So, but the seller wanted to wait 10 days before accepting the offer to give the market time. And Vin has 11 Carnegie Court in Parsippany, 535. Vin, do you want to talk about this?
Sure, I just put this on the market yesterday. It's coming on the it's coming for showings on Thursday. It says coming soon. It's a north facing 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with partially finished basement townhome in Hunting Ridge, which is on the corner of North Beverick and Route 46. The New York City bus stop park and ride is right across the street from this complex. This complex has a pool, lots of visitor parking, 1-car garage and 1 car in the driveway. But the location of this is prime because it's on a cul-de-sac and has like about 6 visitor spots in that area. It's priced at $535. It's gonna move quick. I have open houses Saturday and Sunday. Neil Merjani is gonna sit on Saturday. I'll be there Sunday from 1 to 4.
Great, congratulations. That's a great
And
listing.
yeah, maintenance fee is only $290 a month here.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, Finn.
Yep.
And then we have some coming soon listings coming on. Cheryl has 34 Forest Road in Green Township at $295. Gloria, 334 River Road in East Hanover for $454,900. Another one at 115 Overlook Ave in East Hanover for $637,500. And Dennis, you have a new one. It's exclusive.
Yeah. It's a 4-bedroom colonial, 2.5 baths, updated kitchen. Really nice location in Powder Mill. And it's exclusive currently. I'll probably be going on a Garden State maybe Thursday.
Hey, Dennis, that's really Parsippany, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but it's a Morris Plains. Yeah, it's a
Mailing
Morris
address,
Plains
right?
for the GPS. Yeah.
It's Parsippany schools and everything, though.
Yeah, it's Parsippany Schools. Yes. Yes.
So guys, if you have a buyer looking in at that price point in that area, that's a good one to be able to introduce them to before it hits the market. So
So,
bedrooms is it? 4.
4.
Congrats, Dennis. That's a great one.
All right. Well,
We did our exclusive. Anybody else have anything in search of new rentals, price improvements? I don't know if we really do price improvements.
Missy,
Yes,
I
Bob.
I have 2 listings coming on.
Okay.
Okay, come on, people.
Oh, wait.
Money.
Carol, Bob's announcing 2 new listings. No.
She's not interested. She doesn't want them. Okay. One is in Morris Plains. It's 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 1-car garage on a cul-de-sac. It'll be on by the weekend. It's going to be priced at $735. It's got an office and a finished basement. The other one is in Landing. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, custom bi-level that's really set up for a mother-daughter. It's got a kitchen on the lower level. And that'll be priced at $365 or around there. And they both should be on the market over the weekend.
Yeah, that's a good one, guys. 365 and Morris Plains. So Landing, which is part of Roxbury, and the 365 and a Morris Plains one. That's great. Bob, you know you're not allowed to say mother-daughter anymore. You know that, right?
What's the acceptable language?
There is no acceptable language.
Okay.
I know. I don't know. You can say it. You just can't write it in just and less remarks. You can say anything you want. You can't write it in just and less remarks.
Okay.
I don't know. Is in-law suite okay? They didn't strike that from Carol's thing?
Extra living apartment. in
Carol, did
basement.
they strike in-law suite from your listing last week? The MLS.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, guest suite. Let's try that. Guest suite.
Yes, sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind when I write it
Can't
up.
say multi-generational. I think generational is the word. Can't say family. Can't say walk. We have to make up something new, and then they'll strike that. Congratulations, Bob. That's great.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Oh, Kelly has something.
Have a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage in Cranberry Lake, in Byram. As of last night, it was the only, well, it'll be the only listing in Cranberry Lake. We're signing the listing on Thursday and doing a coming soon, so it'll be available in like 2 weeks.
So coming soon, 2 weeks in
Wait,
Cranberry
who's
Lake.
talking? Missy.
Kelly Romero.
Okay, Kelly, and can I text you for the details?
Yeah.
And if anybody in the office is like, oh my God, I got a seller, the coming soon can be made to go away.
Yeah.
If you have a buyer, you mean?
Yeah.
Kelly, where did you get that?
Uptime.
Oh, you did? No, you didn't.
Yeah, it was.
Nobody gets anything for Nobody gets anything on Uptime, Kelly, or at open houses, or door hanging, or anywhere else. So Kelly got that Uptime. Mary Frances is going tonight to, tomorrow morning to obtain a listing in Warren County
Nice.
that she got from Uptime.
Where?
Yeah, exactly, Nancy. I know. I think these new agents make things up all the time. I think they're all lying.
It's very weird.
So, no, she's not on. Core Academy, I guess, went back on at $4.99. So that's in Hanover, Whippany. Yeah. And that's it. And that's it. So we're doing our $1 and a dream, guys.
I need to get you $1.
Up. And I want, for those of you who are on and can see, I want to show you something. I want to show you something. So don't get off yet. Stop sharing. Oh, no, I want to stop sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at all of our great people here. Can you see? Did you see all the great people here? Or maybe I'm too slow?
It was hilarious. I was like, oh boy.
Someone gave me 4 quarters. Someone gave 4 quarters. Mary Frances, you are the winner.
If you get the Joker, you can have the pink pie. $10.
Do a TikTok.
I don't know how to do a TikTok.
Because I pulled out of the park.
I'll teach you how to do TikTok.
Dante will teach you.
Dante, do a TikTok for us. Can you do it on my
I would
phone?
love to.
Blast.
Can you do it on my phone?
I literally just started like a week ago.
I said, can you do a TikTok for us right now?
Of course, of course.
Oh, but we have to make it fun. We have to make it fun.
Oh, okay, I don't know. See, I want to learn a dance. I want to
Okay,
do a dance
deal,
with somebody.
deal.
I told Tabitha that. I want her and I to learn a dance together. All right, guys, thank you for attending. I think we're done.
Okay, goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Have a great
Good luck
day.
tomorrow. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, something like that, really.
I watched a lot, I don't know, maybe,